What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 92, and we start today's episode off with the last 8 of the FA Cup, our FA Cup quarterfinal away at the DW against League One Wigan Athletic. And I said in the last episode, after we made it through QPR in extra time, getting drawn against another side in the Football League wasn't a surprise to me, and as I always say, I get very lucky with my cup draws, and I'm the first to admit it. I don't try and downplay the luck I get in domestic cup draws. When you look at the teams that are remaining here, it's the final 8 of the FA Cup. All the teams in England going into it, and there's not a single team in the traditional top 6 outside of us remaining. And so, to me, I said in the very last episode, and I'll say it once again, cup sets are a bit too common for me in FIFA career mode. We are the only team. It's a traditional top 6 team. Leicester are still in there, Newcastle are still in there, Wolves are still in there, don't get me wrong, but it's a bit surprising that, we're in the quarterfinals here and there's no Liverpool, there's no Man City, it's just us. It's just us. And there's no doubt about it now, we have become firm favourites, and overwhelming favourites to retain our FA Cup that we won last year. So taking on Wigan at the DW, I wasn't going to take chances because of how frequent cup sets are. I picked a very strong lineup on the back of our win over Milan in the Champions League last 16 second leg. Wigan away, Lautaro Martinez ended his mini goal drought, and then Declan Rice scored his first goal in a Chelsea shirt. Yep, taking him a long time to do it. Signed him in the summer, my first signing of the new season. He's coming as our anchor man. To be fair, he's not here to score goals, but he gets his first in a Chelsea shirt this year, doubling our lead. Right before the break though, Wigan would get back in the game in a half where they'd really not caused me any problems at all. They make it 2-1 and half the deficit, and as I mentioned before, cup sets very frequent in FIFA career mode nowadays, so I was thinking, got to be a little bit careful here. We needed extra time and 2 hours worth of football to scrape past Queen's Park Rangers by a single goal. Got to be careful here. Wigan battling back, half in deficit. It's 2-1, but right from kickoff, I love those kickoff goals. Trying to restore our 2-goal cushion straight away. Christian Pulisic gets to round 1, gets to round 2, smacks the ball off the crossbar, and it's acrobatically cleared away. Guys, how many times have I hit the crossbar recently? I swear it's been 5 times in the past 4 games. Unbelievable. So it's 2-1. We're still leading by a goal at the break, and Wigan had shown they had chances to get back in the game, but ultimately I felt confident I could see the game out. We'd been a better team. We had a 2-goal lead previously. We hit the crossbar right before the break, and 55 minutes in, he gets it right this time. Christian Pulisic smacks it in, gets the goal he rightfully deserves. We restore our 2-goal cushion. 10 minutes after he starts 3-1, I was thinking, okay, alright, it's done now, it's over. I'm not having a game like the QPR one where I absolutely dominate, yet due to a defensive error, I have to go to extra time. No, I've got my 2-goal cushion back. I'm not throwing this away. And 72 minutes in, his Thuram holds the ball up, rolls it through to his bro. The Thuram brothers linking up. You love to see it. It's like the 3rd time it's happened. It's brilliant. Kefren gets on the end of a Marcus through ball, and Dad Lillian, watching at home in France, is pleased to see it. Yep, his son's linking up for our 4th goal, and that would do it. Yep, 3-goal cushion now. No chance that we're going to come back. And whilst they were throwing so many blue and white shirts forward, I've mentioned before, when you see that happen, just work the space in behind, because if you've got a quick team, there's no doubt about it, you're going to be 3-1 or 1 most of the time. It's what happened for our 5th goal as well. He got the assist for his bro for our 4th, and then bags our 5th himself. Marcus Thuram off the bench makes it 5-1. I was contemplating selling him in the summer. I'm so glad I didn't. He's a really good squad winger to have in this team, and we got a few of them as well, and he wraps the game up. Final score, Wigan 1, Chelsea 5, and there we go. We are through to the FA Cup semi-finals once again. No such problems like the QPR game. Dominated this one and thoroughly deserved the win. One of our biggest of the season, and we are into the final 4 of our FA Cup. There's no doubt about it with the teams that are remaining. Yes, there are some tricky ones there, but we are certainly considered overwhelming favourites to retain our cup. If we don't do it, it'll be a massive choke job, but in the semi-finals at Wembley, it's only Premier League teams remaining now, and in the final 4, Chelsea will be taking on, in their FA Cup defence, Everton in the semi-finals, Newcastle versus Wolves, so Frank Lampard's Toffees. And, you look at the teams remaining there, and I mentioned it, obviously we had a draw here for the quarterfinals of the Champions League as well. Two big draws coming, and in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, oh, this is really funny, by the way, Chelsea are going to be taking on, wait for it, it's not there. It's not there. I don't know why, but it's not there. So we had to find out the traditional way. In the quarters of the Champions League, Chelsea will be taking on... oh my god! CSKA Moscow! Who knocked out Manchester City in the previous round. And like I mentioned earlier, this to me is what I really wanted to talk about today. Cupsets in FIFA career mode, they're just too common, man. I mean, CSKA Moscow go to the Etihad, overturn the deficit and make it through. And look, we've seen Eintracht Frankfurt reach the Europa League final this year. They knocked out Barcelona in the progress, and then West Ham in the semis as well. Gotta give them credit, they rightfully deserve to be there. But they're in the Champions League quarterfinals this year, as are Bayer Leverkusen, as are CSKA Moscow, and big teams have already fallen at both the group stage and the last 16 as well. And we know it's not too uncommon. We know we saw this year with both Barcelona and Dortmund going out in the group stages. It's not like it's a one-off, but I think it's just a bit too frequent. I mean, let's be honest, how many times have you seen like one of the unconventional, if you will, teams go to like the final four or even the final of the Champions League? I mean, I've done seasons in saves where, like, Leicester City have got into the top four and then have reached the Champions League final, which again is not beyond the realms of possibility. We'll never forget their fairy tale season, one of my all-time favourite campaigns in the Premier League, one of the best Cinderella stories you'll ever read about. Privileged to have been alive to have witnessed it in person. It'll be talked about for centuries. I truly do believe that, because it was just such an iconic and unpredictable and incredible achievement. And of course, they got to the quarterfinals the following year in the Champions League, only to be knocked out by Atletico. So it's not what you'd consider to be impossible, but it is incredibly unlikely still. And again, it's the rate of frequency where it happens. We're in the FA Cup semis, and in the quarters, there were 3 Football League sides, and we were the only traditional top 6 sides remaining. There was no Arsenal, there was no Man City, there was no Manchester United, there was no Liverpool, there was no Spurs. It was just us. And in the Champions League, we got CSKA Moscow. And no disrespect, but that's the best finish they've ever had. Champions League quarterfinals. They've never got further than that. So again, it's not beyond the realms of possibility, but I think for me, cup sets are just a bit too frequent in FIFA, and they should be in the game. I'm not saying that every single year it should be the biggest of teams going the furthest consistently with no exceptions, because I mean, come on now, we see Villarreal this year defied the odds to reach the Champions League semi-finals, and you go back a couple of years ago and Ajax were in there, when Spurs knocked them out to get to the final. And I'm not downplaying the quality or the stature of these teams. What I am trying to say is that in FIFA career mode it happens just a bit too frequently. Every now and then, absolutely, because that replicates real football. But I think every single season now, you see major cup sets and big teams going out early. And every now and then, it's going to happen, and that's realistic. But I think EA need to realise it's just a bit too common and a bit too frequent. And when you see results like that one with CSKA Moscow dumping out Man City, I want to clarify once again, it's not beyond the realms of possibility, and it's not what you consider impossible, but the frequency of those sort of things happening is a bit too high in FIFA career mode. So I'm really hoping for those of us out there that do realistic career modes and want to keep saves realistic, EA realised that cup sets should happen. Cup sets are part of real football, but they're a bit too frequent, and big teams go out a bit too early and a bit too frequently to teams that they should ordinarily be heavy favourites against. So yeah, I just wanted to say that real briefly because, sometimes I do get comments from people saying that, like, why do I get drawn against, lesser quality teams so frequently, especially, as I always say, especially in the FA Cup. And what I think this season really shows you what I've been trying to explain for a long time now. It's just a case of how the game works. The Football League teams just go so far in the FA Cup nowadays. It's crazy. I mean, let's be honest, how many times have we seen like a Championship side get to the FA Cup final in real life and then in the game. In the game, it happens like every 4 or 5 seasons, you know. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I really hope that EA realise in the next version of FIFA or years to come, a lot of people play career mode for the realism. You know, a lot of people play it to try and make realistic saves. And as I often say, realism career mode is often so hard to maintain. You can only do your best. You can only do the stuff that directly affects you. I can't do anything about CSK Moscow knocking out Man City, you know. But even so, I guess I just wanted to clarify that, because I always say I do get very lucky on my cup draws in England. There's no doubt about that. Not so much in the other leagues, but definitely in England, in the FA Cup. But I just feel like it's because of the fact that Football League sides go so far and cup sets are so frequent. I think EA need to tone it down just a little bit. If they can do that and get the right balance, it will make the draws and make the FA Cup and make the cups in general a lot more realistic than what they are right now. Which again, let's be honest, it is what we all want. We want a more realistic career mode, right? And that's a great way for EA to get realism again. Even so, on the back of a shock loss, Everton came to the bridge. We've got them in the FA Cup semis, and in the dress rehearsal for it, Frank Lampard's side got the win by 3-1. And I was thinking, right, we had a chance to extend our lead at the top of the table, and I absolutely blew it. We've been on a great run of form after a horrendous run. We had 3 wins in 10, but now what seemed to be back on track after 5 straight wins was ended by the Toffees there. So the following game was a massive one. West London derby, Brentford away, Community Stadium. And so recently, after 3 wins in 10, I could not afford to feel sorry for myself and have had a bad run of form again. Because, you know, the April, which we just entered, is the busiest month of the calendar year in football. Especially if you go far in Europe in the Cups as well. So we have Champions League quarters to come against CSK Moscow, with the FA Cup semi to come against Everton, and massive Premier League games too, aiming to stay top of the table. This was huge, and I could not afford to lose this one. And in the first half, this guy was running the show, and we missed Mason Mount massively. The heartbeat of our team, down, injured. He's been a huge loss for us, but I can't fault this guy stepping in and doing so well. Kefren Turam, I love him. Scored against Wigan and assisted one as well. And here tonight against Brentford in a West London derby in a massive pressure game. What a great camera angle there, by the way. He bags his first hat-trick as a Chelsea player. You know I love this guy. He's probably my favourite player in this Chelsea team. And in this game, he just absolutely ran the show. Edouard Mendy made a great save in the first half to keep it at 2-0 as well. But after we got our third in the second, courtesy of Kefren getting the match ball, we get the big 3 points. Yeah, big loss to Everton. But unlike recently, we're not going to go into a bad run of form. We had 3 wins in 10 so recently, lost the EFL Cup final. But that Everton loss is not the start of a collapse in form. It was simply put just a blip. Yet back on track in the West London derby. 3-0 the final score. Back with a big victory. Kefren to thank for it as well. And in the table right now, 9 games to go. Extending our lead with 5 clear of Man City and 1 clear of Liverpool, but do have the game in hand as well. Yet we're back on top. We have a point separation as well. And destiny is in our own hands. Treble dreams still alive, baby. But that will end today's episode of The Realistic Career, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of The Realistic Career Mode very soon.